Okay, this is exactly the kind of smoothie consistency that I love. This is like thick enough, so you want to learn to make the perfect smoothie, huh? What is up, YouTube? So you want to make the perfect smoothie, huh? You've been trying and trying it, but it always comes out the wrong consistency, doesn't it? And then you end up going and spending $5 to $10 on a smoothie at Smoothie King or Tropical Smoothie. And hey, I learned everything I know from the gods of Tropical Smoothie. But you know what? I can make the perfect smoothie at home, and so can you. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you a 4 ingredient, unless you count the ice, in which case it is a 5 ingredient smoothie. It's called a peanut butter and jelly. First of all, you gotta have your blender, you gotta have your ingredients, and you gotta have your hands. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're always gonna start with our liquid base. I've got oat milk here, but guess what? You can use any liquid that you like. I'm not gonna ask what kind you did, but you could use water, orange juice, oat milk, dairy milk, and anything you want to get creative with. If it's a liquid, it's got to be in there. That's what's going to make your smoothie smooth. Next up, we're going to throw our frozen fruit in there. Now, it doesn't have to be frozen. I just had these frozen strawberries and wanted to do it. So I have 185 grams of strawberries. That's about 60 calories worth. I recommend always going with what you've got in the fridge or the freezer. Don't make special trips for stuff unless you really want to make something special. Next up, I've got 1 serving or 2 tablespoons, 13 grams of PB2. If you've never used PB2, this is it right here. And basically, it is powdered peanut butter. So they took all of the oil out and everything and left you with 6 grams of protein, 1.5 grams of fat, and 5 grams of carb per serving, only 60 calories. Quick way to bump up the protein and get a little peanut butter flavor in there. Finally, I've got 1 serving, 31 grams of a vanilla whey protein. Now, people say, of course, that every different protein is going to create a different consistency in your smoothie. Probably true. I'm no smoothie scientist. Now, because I already have frozen fruit in here, I don't technically need ice, but what I really want to do here to make sure that I'm getting as full as I can from this relatively light snack is to put some ice in there, because it's going to bump up the volume a lot, and that's really what I care about here. Think about this: more liquid you have, more juicy you get. The more ice you have, the thicker you get. It's how people make like protein ice cream, right? They load it up with ice, maybe a little bit of a thickening agent like a guar gum or a xanthan gum. But what we're gonna do here today, I just wanna sip on this thing. It needs to be so smooth that it goes right up through one of my little skinny metal straws. That's my challenge for today. So let's see if I can do it. I'm gonna grab a little bit of ice. I've got about 8 pieces in there, and then it's time to let her rip. This is the Ninja. This is the best blender you could ever buy. You could do this on a $20 Target blender as well. It just might take a little more effort, or maybe you might want a little more liquid to make it easier on the blender. But I'm just gonna go to the smoothie setting, push start, and okay, so once the first blend is done, basically you have to decide a couple of things. Number one, you gotta look around the blender and you gotta see, did I lose some good juicy protein and fruit stuff? The answer is 90% of the time gonna be yes. So you're just gonna kind of give it a quick little scrape. And from the looks of my smoothie, it is a little too thick. I don't know why my brain had a complete meltdown there. So what did I say to do if your smoothie is too thick? Yep, you guessed it. Let's taste it. Oh, peanut butter and jelly smoothie. Genius. Okay, and so like I said, we're just gonna add a little bit of water. I did a little too much here. This is 2/3 a cup. We're not gonna need that much. So what we're gonna do is just get it right to 1/3. And that should be enough to make progress. Let's give it one more, probably not a full blend this time. Okay, so after not even half a blend, we are left with what appears to be a perfect smoothie consistency. Let's do my pour test and see how I did. Is it smooth enough? Oh, she's beautiful. So visually, I definitely passed the test. But the real test is, of course, the straw test. Is it going to come right up through the straw? And every time that happens, you know what you got to do, right? You got to, there you go, clean it up. You don't want to leave a mess in the kitchen. All right, so it's thick, but it's not too thick. It's not ice cream level. Let's see if the straw. Okay, this is exactly the kind of smoothie consistency that I love. This is like thick enough to where it's not a drink. It's not a juice. It's not just gonna kind of like go straight up through and you're gonna be able to pound the whole thing in 2 minutes. But it comes right through the straw perfectly. It looks really nice. If you want to be fancy, you could add a little cocoa powder or cinnamon on top if you're feeling a little bit, you know, bougie. But otherwise, guys, that's your recipe. 4 ingredients, 300 calories. I'll actually put the macros on screen right now, but it's 300 calories, 33 grams of protein. Can't go wrong. And as you can see, this is a lot. This is an entire glass, and I've still got probably another half a glass to a full glass in the blender ready to go. Hope you guys enjoy. Let me know if you try it out, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.